Brezzies Mental Health. He's got mental health through the wazoo. Can you hear me all right there? Can you hear me? How you know? Andrew Bashroom. How you know? And a half bottle of Coors Light, yeah? Maple Strat. She is indeed Tommy Joe. The maple job. None of that rosewood. Fucking rosewood, no. It's a bit touchy because it's nearly extinct. Robbie Heenan knows the crack. Yeah, anyway, how's the form? It's been 2 weeks since my last confession. 2 weeks, boys. 2 weeks. I thought I'd get a little day session in. I don't know what I'm going to talk about, but we'll fucking get rolling, man. We'll get rolling. We get the chat going in the chat group, man. I'm on chats. Hills for cheeky boys. Stateside making noise. Down by Banner Abbey near the riverside. There's no live music. No comedy clubs. No handy few bob. No making love. The slag's on the internet. It's only fans all the time. Brezzies Mental Health, he's doing just fine. Oh, the whole gang are in, man. The whole gang. Had me a day session. Chats are cool. Morton, how are you, Simon? Occam's Brute. How are you, Occam's Brute? Hey. Amanda WS. Was wondering where you'd gone. Wasn't expecting this in the bath. Ooh. You had me at stateside, said no autographs. Daniel McCarthy. Any word from Cozy O'Boyle this weather? Do shadow play. How's it? What's the chords of that? Stateside, he's looking well. Got a snooker table. And he's smoking rollies. And he's smoking joints. And he's drinking Hino. Who knows? Oh, fuck. All these lights just fade away. I feel a little scratchy inside. A little Mr. Jekyll, a little Mr. I've played that for a long time. Soundbite. Brezzy bought a gaff last day. He says his mental health is grand now. Wrongin'. Yeah. I don't know why I decided to call the title Brezzies Mental Health, but like, it's just one of those things. He's a man who's made an industry of just going like, you know, like sometimes, man, it's normal to just get the willies, you know what I mean? A man just get the willies fairly handy, like, and willies are bad, man, you know, like sometimes, you know, I just had to make a podcast about it and you know, Patreon there, just throw some coin in and RTE. They'll give me some coin too, and do you know what I mean? I can play some tunes for you guys, and you know, I was in bands there and was doing a lot of running, triathlons, and yeah, man. I mean, I'm a good guy. I'm a good guy. How are you so wide? What's Sweden like these days? Moving for work next week. Harry O'Reilly, are you going working in the fucking data center in Gävle? Yeah. If so, come down to Stockholm for a few fucking Lutioners. Sweden's grand, man. I'm getting the feeling things are going to be One second. Sweden's going to be opening up soon, I think, because it was open there last year, and then all of a sudden October happens when funny enough, the fucking flu season happens. But like, I'm not going to go into that. Any sit-offs? Mitchell Balson, mate. There's been a lot of sit-offs, lad. A lot of sit-offs. Bit of AC/DC, Durkin, lad. Men get the willies. Aye, says Amanda. Was at a Brezzy talk once. Good guy. Boring as fuck. Yeah, he's a good guy, man. You know what I mean? Like, I have, you know, a good place in my heart for the lad. But yeah, it's just sometimes you just want to. Where the fuck are the people who just say what they really mean? Do you know what I mean? Like, so, oh, I can't say that, or I'll be punished by the media. Yeah, it's, you know, like the media, mainstream media is like a Rottweiler shitting into your brain. It's just like someone's gone like this, unscrewed the top of your head, lifted the top bit out of your brain, and just bring a rotty in there, lad, and just like right into the top of your head, close it up, and it's like you just parrot talking points from lads who are being paid by special interests to talk shite. Sorry, I'm from the north and spent years in Scotland. Och, aye, as Danny Morrow would say. Did you see the news saying cannabis in Ireland is young people's greatest mental health threat? What a load of bollocks. Fair play to you there, Colin. Well, the thing is about weed, right? If you want my fucking, as Blind Boy Bow Club would say, here's my hot take now on weed. Basically, here's what I think about weed. If you grow it, and you have people who are conscientiously growing it, like my basil plant, you know, check this out, man. I bought this lad. I bought that lad there, hey. Basilica. And I'm going to fucking grow that. And I'll be making pesto like an Italian boy. But, so basically, yeah, if you fucking legislate it, and then you tax it, you remove it from shady boys who sell you crap hash with bits of sofa interior and cling film thrown into it. And you ethically and sustainably, ecologically grow it so you can maintain the strains. You know what you're going to get from whatever you're smoking. But if you're going to shady dudes who are growing it in attics and they're fucking spraying it with all sorts of shite like fucking fiberglass, yeah, it's not going to be good. But if you're like, I just want to have a little bit of tight stick, mate, you know what I mean? Just mellow buzz, like. But yeah, like people are growing super skunk and all sorts of strains. I mean, you've got sativa and indica, which even that is basically splitting the different strains into two. But yeah, just fucking take it out of the hands of the bad boys, and just have it where it's legislated. But don't turn it into a kind of like Amsterdam vibe where you just get nutters who are coming and then they're like, "I saw cocaine, you want some hashtag CSC, real nice." You don't want that kind of shit either. Basil Brush, lad. I used to get fucking gauzes for me bong, and it was called Basil Bush, and it had the Jamaican colours on it. Fuck that one up. Got any gear? Oh, mate, great muscle. Glad to have you with me, mate. Glad to have you with you there in the chat. Matthew Berry. Is that Matt Berry from fucking Darth Merengue's Dark Place? The man who can breed a cold-resistant strain will be on Bill Gates' money in no time. Oh, I see Bill Gates' wife left him. Even she was like, look, Bill, you're a smarmy greaser. You're a wrong'un. You've got problems. You're up to bad shit. And now she's even like, nah, mate, you're too much of a prick. I can't abide by you anymore. He's like, what are you going to divorce me for? Well, I can get any woman I want. I'm Bill Gates. I've got loads of money. I ever get a hold of him, man, I'll bend him over and right up the Ronson, and I'm not even gay. Yeah, just he'll get that, man. Mikey Higgins totally agrees with that. Bill's wife gets the microchip children. No autographs. Agreed. Think being held under house arrest for over a year has been more of an effect on mental health. Yeah. Just lock people in for ages and keep changing. Oh, there's a new strain coming. There's a new, oh, it's fucked. Florida, man. DeSantis, what a fucking legend he is. He's just, like, what happened to the fucking real leaders? You know, like just hard lads who were fair and good dudes. Do you know what I mean? Just people who give a fuck about their people. Do you know what I mean? And no preference. It's just like the the golden rule, you know, the do no harm, take no shit. The world is fucking full of, it's run by wankers, man. Wankers and spineless sellouts who just, oh, don't rock the boat. I'm on a nice bit of money. Don't want to say the wrong thing. Oh, I'd be shamed in the papers. It's a fucking industry designed to keep people ignorant, docile, and fucking stupid, man. The old saying goes, treat them like a mushroom, keep them in the dark, and feed them shite. All you need to do is go onto Twitter and look at some of the comments that people write back to common sense, and then look at the Twitter profiles and their bio, and you're just like, fuck me, man. How did this happen? Mike Higgins, you should do a Scouse-Bergen, Eddie's cousin. All right there, mate, yeah, I fucking moved over, my uncle and all, you know, my dad and all that, moved over, fucking Eddie's uncle is my dad, mate. Lulu, Gates' wife, will be celebrated in a year for being the richest woman on earth. Jesus. Good on her. You know what I mean? I mean, she'd want that kind of compensation being married to that pillock. And everyone's like, he's a humanitarian. Like, I seen like people writing on Twitter the other day just being like, how could you say this about him? He gave all his money to charity. If he gave all his money away to charity, how come he was able to donate 20 billion to Big Pharma at a return of investment of fucking 200 billion? Yeah, I'll show you, man. Some lad sent me it on my phone, mate. I'll fucking show you. You tell me, right? You tell me that this lad gave all his money away because it's fucking shite, mate. He's a blade and he's gonna get done in by bad lads who've got crabs. Yeah, watch this.
Economic.
Right, look at this fucking.
You invested $10 billion in vaccinations over the last 2 decades, and you figured out the return on investment for that. And it kind of stunned me. Can you walk us through the math? It's over a 20-to-1 return. So if you just look at the economic benefits, that's a pretty strong number compared to anything else. I think the numbers that you ran through were if you had put that money into an S&P 500 and reinvested the dividends, you'd come up with something like $17 billion, but you think it's $200 billion here.
Nice little touch that. Nice if you got money like that. Turns out his grandmother was the head of the Federal Reserve in Washington. And what is that, man? Federal Reserve, basically, 1913, creature from Jekyll Island. A load of lads got together just before Christmas when everyone was off work, and then just outlawed gold bullion and gold bonds, and said anyone in possession of them would be potentially arrested and locked up for 10 years with $10,000 fine. And they are the motherfuckers who have the world reserve currency. So here's another little thing that I'll get you in on. Right now, big shout out to Tyler Schuler, the outlaw barber. Right, I didn't have a clue about crypto or any of that shit. I just thought it was a bit pie in the sky. It is basically like gambling. But if you had got Bitcoins a couple of years ago, you'd be fucking minted now. You'd be getting loads of little fiat triangle, little rectangles of paper. But the thing is, there is a new, and this is my disclaimer, I'm not giving you financial advice, but if you want to get in now while it's cheap, Tyler told me, he goes, buy yourself some of these pirate coins, and the ticker is ARRR. Right, so basically, these pirate coins, he told me to get in at $2 each. And I was like, yeah, it'd be grand. And then he sends me a message saying, with a screen grab of like $3.50 going, I really hope you invested. And I was like, oh shit, I'll have to do it tomorrow. 5 days later, when I finally got in, they were up to $7.30. So then I couldn't figure out what the hell was going on. And fair play to the girlfriend, she's a bit more savvy than me. She put 200 quid on them and she bought 24 of them. The next day, I fucking panic bought them at like $12.80. And then that day they went up to like $17. So within 1 week, if you bought them earlier than that, you would have been like, if you put 2,000 or 200 quid in and you were buying them for like 25 cents, like you would have been rich now, So yeah, I was actually Mikey J. I was actually thinking, can I make a Hardy coin based on the Hardy books? Just like, but I'm just wondering how the back end of it, how do you mine it? But yeah, check out. Look, let me have a little look. So do you want me to tell you how you do it? I'll fucking tell you. I'll give you the step by step. crack on how you get these little things, because this is what I struggled with. I'll tell you the score now with the old pirate coin, mate. I'll tell you the crack right now. So the current price of them is $6.19, which is a good time to get in if you have any spare coin knocking around. 2 weeks ago it was up to 17. Now it's down to $6.24. So it's kind of stabilized. But like, what you do, you go onto Coinbase, then you buy your Bitcoin or buy, and then you go over to TradeOga. You start an account with them, and then you send your Bitcoin over to TradeOga, and then you buy some for 200 quid. Just leave it there for a couple of years. Sock robbers, the lot of them. You know what I mean? Matthew Barry, gold and silver will boom, as will most physical assets, land, wood, steel, copper. They're already doing it, man. They're already doing it. Lumber has gone up. Grain has gone up. I'm telling you, everything's going to go right up. All the commodities. Jamie J. Carr, mate, you'd buy some of those hardy coins. You'll have to come on the show later on for the chat, lad. I'm a big fan of Cardano. They are doing great stuff out in Africa. Who are they? Occam's Bruce. Keen Murphy, you should make a Hardy Bucks NFT. Thanks for that, mate. Thanks for that. Gives a few Hardy coin. Jamie J, mate, you're a good lad, mate. You're a good lad. Is anyone on the B app? What's the B app? See, there's some, like, basically, the thing is, like, what makes pirate coin so good is they say the most encrypted, and Biden brought in this law, capital gains tax. So anyone who makes money on Bitcoins, like, man, he's a fucking dickhead. That, you know, that whole administration is a fucking joke. It's like Trump is a fucking tit, right? And I think he was basically a dude who was out. I think he was just a neutral character. I don't even think thought he would get in. It happened. It probably thought it was like the time I went to be the class president in Ballyfermot, and I saw it as like a popularity contest. I was like, yeah, I won that. And then when I had to go in, I was like, that's fucking shit, man. I had to stay back and talk shite, and I just gave the position away. But I think that's pretty much what happened to him. And but basically, the shit Biden's fucking ramming through it's fucking nonsense, man. You're going to be fucked if you live in the States with all the tax and everything. Like, the guy is his island is right across from Epstein's island. Tells you all you need to know there. Martin La, how's Sweden getting on? It's all right, but you can tell there's dodgy boys over here who want to basically lock this place down the same way as everywhere else has. Hi there, lads. Do tell Occam's Brute I've got a lot of Cardano. Now, there you go, lad. Franny Jeffers is after you. Cardano was founded by one of Ethereum's founders. Some governments in Africa are buying their tech. Nice proof. Oh, yeah. Are they the lads who are in Ethiopia? Aren't they using that blockchain technology as a way of keeping voter integrity? Mark Shortall, Black Star sounding class. Oh. Put my money in the pirate coin. Get ready for the crypto. I feel so lucky on the Bitcoin. I feel I'm gonna win. Yeah, it's nice, man. It's a nice touch. Michael Atkinson, hello, Martin. First time. Michael, you're very welcome. Please subscribe. Hit the thumbs up. All the stuff that your typical YouTube dudes talk about. Michael Atkinson, cheers for the content, Martin. Thank you very much, mate. An absolute pleasure. Thank you very much for the sorry about that. The Sterling Green Queens. Yeah, that's the one horse, says Occam's Bruce. It's a nice touch, man. It's a nice touch. Good on them. I think basically, like, the dollar is, and probably the rest of these currencies that are basically tied to nothing but themselves, fiat, you're basically paying the third party for your transaction. So for every transaction you do, you're giving money to them. And I think let people have private, that's the beauty of it. It's like, it's private. You go and buy what you want, and there's no third party involved. So, like, people are being ripped off by by legal tender. And it's like, it's what is currency? It's what people, it's like bottle caps and Fallout. Like if you can buy shit with bottle caps because there's a limited amount of bottle caps in production. So it's basically everyone in the Fallout universe was like, welcome, stranger. You know, and you're talking to a ghoul in Washington and you're buying yourself a nice rocket launcher with about 400 bottle caps that you found on the wasteland. So it does work out in a way, mate. You know what I mean? James Jeffers, would you do a Hardy Book spin-off over there, Lilyhammer style? I have been thinking about that, to be honest with you. There's plenty of juicy characters over here. Maybe Durkin has to come to Sweden and do a bit of work, but I might have to, I don't know how I get it funded. I mean, I could do. I need to get a producer, someone who's good at making fat coin. Mimos M-Stan 1989. We had to start using bottle caps here. Lulu. What type of little amp are you playing through? Just straight through or running a pedal board? No, it's straight through. You gotta have a look at that, mate. The Black Star. That's a fucking. I bought it off a Turkish lad, man, and it was sound, and he gave me a Gator case. But when you put it in the case, it's like a fridge. It's if you're holding a guitar and trying to wheel that around, forget about it, mate. Cardano, Polkadot, and Ripple, and the main cryptos I'm accumulating. Good for you. It's I mean, I think the dollar's on the way out, man. I think it's gonna, like, apparently 75% of all dollars in circulation were printed. Like, oh, Shawnee, forget about it. Most of the dollars in circulation, 75% of them were printed last year. I mean, like, how the fuck is, like, here's $1 trillion here, here's $1 trillion there. Here, Raytheon have this, fucking Boeing. It's corporate welfare, man, and it's amazing. It's like they palm the people off who are basically out of work with $600 here and there. Then they have this fucking stimulus bill that the Democrats have brought in, that fucking Pelosi clown. And it's like, buy speedboats for Sri Lanka. Here's some gender studies for Pakistan. Instead of just giving people hard coin. But no, but Raytheon and fucking all these weapons contract. I mean, it's fucking crazy. It's like, no one's talking about it. Well, there are people who are talking about it. Graham Russell, thanks, mate. Nonce Hunters, Dark Justice, Kyle from Sheffield is still trying to get on the bus. Well done, love. Well done, babe. Don't let him on the bus. You got to see this, man. Graham, can you stick a link up there in the of Kyle Fleury from Southampton? He was a bad wronging, man. He dressed up as a clown so kids would take pictures of him. And then this guy gets him and he's like, you were told you weren't supposed to be on the internet and you're outside of fucking school, you dirty nose cunt. And he's like, he's trying to get on a bus and your man's going, please, got a hood over his head. And your man is going like this, babe, don't let him on the bus. He's a paedophile. Police are on their way. And then he's going, please. And at the very end, man, he just runs across the road and stacks it. It's fucking unreal. Shawnee, Cannibalics. The world has been clamoring for a reserve currency not based on the American dollar for a long time. We might see that happen. Yeah. We fucking will do, man. I look at Bitcoin's up to, what, 50 grand. Wish I'd listened. I remember a couple of, like, what was it, like 3 days ago when it was up to like 5 grand a piece. I was like, 5 grand for a coin? Who's got that kind of money? And then you had a couple of lads. A friend of mine from Galway said a mate of his he had a few little Bitcoins knocking around for buying stuff off Silk Road. And he just said he'd forgotten about it and he'd had a couple of them. And then one day he looked at it and he was rich. And I said to my mate, I was like, fair play to him. He's like, yeah, to be fair, like, the poor fucker was just living off beans and now he's loaded and he's buying Audis and he's got a fucking jet ski and he's going up the Carb River on it, just fucking buying pints from Harvest and, oh, it's class. What's a Shia lad? Was it Eddie Durkin talking more sense politically than most politicians? It's a job I wouldn't want, to be honest with you, because no matter what you do, you're going to have fucking people writing about it. If you're doing things the right way, you'll have like telling the fucking idiots out there that you're bad, and then it'd be like, oh, get him out of here, he's awful. You know, people are just fucking, there's no cop on, man. Like, there's so many people who are capable of doing a job, doing it well, accumulating a certain modicum of wealth, nice car, good kids, fucking, you know, they go to work, respectable member of the community, common sense, but then when it comes to like trusting what they're told by TV and media and, you know, fucking bloggers or whatever, you know, like I ask people, where do you get your information from? like, I'm saying, like, not in a, I'm not being facetious when I ask this. I'm legitimately asking, where do you get your information from? Like, what would be your source of information? And it's like, oh, the Guardian, BBC, RTE. And it's like, yeah, fair enough. I remember years ago, because everyone was like, the Guardian, the Guardian. I read the Guardian. I'm a college boy. I'm reading the Guardian. And then so I tried to read the Guardian, and I was just, I felt like I was being condescended and patronized by round bespectacled fucking shoal wearing dry bastards. And I was reading about the crack in Ukraine, and this is before I kind of started getting into the geopolitical aspects of things. And it was like, oh, Putin's a slippery fucking dude. Don't get me wrong, but the crack in Ukraine, you're like, well, hold on, what's going on here? And I was like, oh yeah, this is all about Russia. Yeah, Pachenko, yeah, he was pro-Russia. But then you find out Biden and his son were doing some dodgy fucking dealings and holding bribes and whatnot. And then you're like, fucking hell, man, this is more than meets the eye here. And then you basically have a color revolution in Ukraine using neo-Nazis to fucking foment the uprising, right? And then to move them away from Russia and get them more kind of Western-centric. And then when you look into the crack in Syria, it's not black and white, man. It's a fucking grey area, but I would be reading or watching RTE News and reading The Guardian and feeling like I was being informed. So I get it, man. People need to do their own research and look into this kind of stuff. Do you know what I mean? It's on the individual to be as informed as possible, and don't trust everything you fucking read. Okay, I'll read some of your comments here. Laws. The Yanks couldn't give a fuck about weapons and human rights abuses before. It all went wrong for Saddam Hussein when he wanted to start selling crude in euro. Yeah, and he was warned by the UN. He was like, nah, going to do it anyway. And then suddenly they pinned 9/11 on him. And then you had Benjamin Netanyahu and you had Colin Powell with these little going to the UN. And apparently they were saying that he had nerve gas balls in like a tube, a vial of these nerve gas balls. And they basically taken that from the film The Rock with Nicolas Cage and Sean Connery. Nicolas Cage, Sean Connery. Yes, we have to get onto The Rock before they detonate this nerve gas over San Francisco. Jimmy Bars, mate, Jimmy Bars. The crack in Ukraine is NATO aggression, not Russian. If you look at Russia, right, they are completely surrounded by NATO. It's and then they're the ones who are basically the aggressors for fortifying their borders. People in eastern Ukraine identify as Russian, Martin says. Ray Ping miners. Yeah, same with Crimea as well. Crimea has always been a Russian port, and they speak Russian. What did Eddie Durkin end up doing in the States, theoretically, Tim? I'm glad you asked. I always like to explore the idea that he went over to a place and started driving a combine harvester in Nebraska and realized that he basically was in the same situation that he was in Swinford, except it was way bigger, way more sparse and more boring. But unfortunately, we didn't get to pursue that one. Harry McLaughlin, dead right about the Ukraine. Links to your point about trusting the media. Most Irish media will paint Putin as the big bad man and the main cause of all unrest in Eastern Europe. Yeah, Simon Cavini was at the Bilderberg Group back in, I think it was 2016, and your man Luke Radowski from We Are Change was doing an interview with him. It's like the Bilderbergers, man. It's like a secret fucking meeting of captains of industry, world leaders, and it's the minutes aren't recorded. It's all fucking Henry Kissinger and those lads just rocking up in Mercs and being shady, and then off they go. And then, funny enough, things just happen. And I like people like, you're one of those conspiracy theories. You're fucking how fucking stupid. It's basically, if you treat it's a racket, man. It's a racket. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I love how people think, oh, that man dresses in a suit. He drives a really nice car. Automatically pillar of the community. Do you know what I mean? It's just common sense. I mean, like, if you consider people who get very, very, very wealthy, you have to crack a few fucking heads along the way. That's how I look at it. The Jimmy Dore show is good. I quite enjoy watching Jimmy Dore. I haven't seen it for a long time. Trilateral Commish, Bohemian Grove, CFR, Council for Relations, yeah. Club of Rome, the crack there, Shawneen Boy. Raping mine is, if you had your ideal government, what would it be? I think basically it comes down to that just small government and freedom for the individual, like liberty. I mean, it's quite simple. It's just like the bigger the government, and fucking keep the rogue financial institutions to a minimum. Like put the brakes on them and put your currency, attach your currency to something like a precious metal, something of value that won't fluctuate. Just common fucking sense, man. Occam's Brew would love to get in with the Bilderberg boys. Then I know I've made it. Oh, you'd be on the pig's back, man. You'd have coin through the wazoo. Tim, in the series, Simcard switches from being friends with the lads and being Viper's right-hand man. Why the switch? Well, it's interesting that you said that, because in Swinford, you'll have basically mutual friends with people who've fallen out. That's what I observed growing up. Like you could be arch enemies with someone, but your best mate could be friends with them. And I think it's down to small town diplomacy, which I covered in the Hardy book, which I will be starting again. For me, it's fucking difficult just to get started, but once I get on a roll, I mean, I set the bar really high for myself with those audio books because I put sound effects and music and all that. Graham Russell wears a suit, drives a nice car. Don't you mean Steve from French? I always wear a suit, Danny. Lovely motor. I was watching Danny Dyer's Who Do You Think You Are yesterday. Fucking hell, man. Words can't express the affection in my heart I have for Danny Dyer. He's a funny bastard, man. Like anytime you see him talking to a lady, like a historian, he's like, oh, come here, give us out, darling. Harry McLaughlin, thanks for the 5 beans. Super chat there, mate. First time I've watched you live, man. Love the Hardy books. Keep these live streams coming. I will indeed, mate. I will indeed. Thanks for that again, lad. Jimmy Julius Bars in Jimmy Bars. He just said a metal standard, not fear. Yeah, exactly. It's a precious metal. Are you working with Owen on the Hardy books? Nah, mate. I haven't heard from Owen in months, to be honest with you. I don't know what the crack is with him. Don't know where he's at, man. He's living in a fucking cottage somewhere, just smoking. Richie Murray. Whee! Oh, fucking hell. Is that who I think it is, mate? Is that who I think it is? Vinyl Richie. Whee! All night long. That's who fucking was all night long, mate. Landorma, how's it going? Can't stay long as I'm working. Fuck that work crack, man. Fuck that work crack. Richie Murray, good to have you in the mix. We'll have to go for a few little looseners. A couple of looseners, man. Is that my Discord group there, Sean? If it is, that join the Discord group there. There's a bit of crack in there, lad. Bit of crack. Owen had a transplant recently. Hey, keep that under your hat. I didn't say anything. How are you, fella? I'm all right, mate. I'm doing good. I still have up in your, Richie. This was Richie Murray for Platoon, the South London legend. He sent me this, which is a great video on technical analysis. So if it's too long to put in. How the fuck is it that long? Hold on. Oh, here we go, lad. I was halfway through, but sometimes the old attention span doesn't. But I have learned a lot from it. Fair play to you, Richie, lad. How's the trading going? I was just telling everyone. I was giving some heads up on a thing called Pirate Coin, and I know yourself and the Mad Allen think like crypto is a bit of a racket or whatever. It might be, but it's the same as trading. But if any of you guys want to get a technical rundown, you can thank Richie Murray, Vinyl Richie, for that one there. The Hermit. Mark Duna, hello, boy. Hello from the kingdom. The Kerry man, is it? Do you ever go to the Skellig Islands to see a fucking Donald Gleason's hanging around there going, Star Wars? Yes, that was just an outburst. Simon Strange, word up, Martin. How are you, mate? A bit of word up there. Who was it that sang Word Up originally in the 80s? And then Mel B did a few scoops needed soon, son. Richie, if you're around town tonight, mate, maybe I might just fucking stall in for a little Ashton touching it with you. I'll give you a bell when I finish this. Tim, SIM card for me wasn't reptilian enough to be with the Viper. Still works though, because he's addicted to hash. You know what? You got it in one there, Tim, mate. You got it in one, lad. Mark Shortall, have you heard that they're raising the price of drink in Ireland? The fucking... Don't want to hear that, mate. It just breaks me heart. There's definitely an anti-drink agenda in Ireland. Nothing wrong with a man having a drink if he so pleases. The concept of liberty. Let people fucking do what they want. Let commerce. Let people charge as much or as little as they want for drink. Let people drink as much as a little as they like. You know what I mean? This fucking nanny state shit. They can fuck right off. I don't know why people come up with it, man. Do you know what I mean? But why do people just fucking acquiesce? Oh, the government said, should the fucking government? Yeah. We'll just fucking suck it up, I suppose. Yeah, we'll do that. Do you know what I mean? Why do people put up with it? And it just seems to be, like, I was watching a video yesterday about the history of Ireland, which was quite interesting. And the amount of warring between the tribes and, you know, then Brian Boru and then the Anglo-Irish and the Norse Gaels, and just it's a nation of people who are constantly fucking divided between themselves. And I think the last true semblance of unity came with the water meters protest, where you had everyone of all fucking political spectrums that came together and just went, nah, I'm not having this. But I think, you know, everyone has been successfully been divided through identity politics, and I think they got a bit wary when they seen from the top of Parnell Street to the back of the Dole. There was just like, it was wedged with hundreds of thousands of people. Michael Atkinson, you are very welcome, Martin. Been trying to catch a love session. So happy to be here. Mate, it's a pleasure to be here. I haven't done one of these 2 weeks ago. My last video got taken down because of, fair play to WWE. Vince McMahon obviously didn't want me showing an old clip of Macho Man Randy Savage. Oh, I tell you, Mean Gene, Maloney got stunned there by WWE Entertainment. Couldn't even show the video was banned. And it was Rory 115. Welcome, son. You're welcome. Welcome to the Pleasure Dome. Because you folks don't have any guns in Ireland, says Robbie Heenan. It's funny, it's funny how an armed populace it does quite equalize the tyranny to freedom ratio. Microdosing Shroomies got me through lockdown depression. Would highly recommend. Yeah, I would probably I would second that. Not that I have any, but like for me, man, just fucking whatever gets you through. You know, whatever your poison is, and fucking, you know, I think Portugal has the right stance. If you have personal use paraphernalia on you, that's on you. You know, I think, and sometimes you might go, oh, you need to go and talk to someone about your use of substances. You know, Robbie Heenan, absolutely, armed society is a polite society. Well, it is, to be fair. Like, I think there's a lot of like in the UK and Ireland, there is a lot of crime that goes unresolved because, first of all, the justice system is a fucking joke. You'll get done if you're a small fish that cooks the books a bit and does a bit of, you know, mild white collar crime. You will be absolutely nailed, more so than a violent criminal that will, you know, beat someone up on the street or violently mug them. But if you are working in the fucking square mile of London, or you're a Wall Street banker and you've ripped off fucking billions, I think basically, you know, you had Bernie Madoff got done for the Enron scandal. But I just think people can't really conceptualize. It's like when Stalin said one death is tragic, but a million deaths is a statistic. It's such a large number that people can't really conceptualize that sum of money that has been criminally extorted from a nation or a bunch of investors. So Shawneen says mutually assured destruction does kind of work, and that's coming from a man who lives in Chicago. I was looking into a bit of the crime stats in Chicago. Apparently, in Chicago there is 200,000 active gang members. I don't know what the population of Chicago is, but yeah, that's a bit of a recipe for some bad tidings. Let me see what else. Robbie Heenan, just what I've heard. Most weapons are outlawed. The government are becoming. Portugal seriously doesn't like vaping. I didn't know that. Much of the poverty is caused by ultra wealthy who lobby governments to take guns from the plebs. Well, yeah, lobbyists, man. I mean, that's America's downfall. It's like it's a pay-to-play system where senators and congressmen will just get an offer they can't refuse, and if they're made of any kind of solid moral fiber, they will probably try and dig some shit up on them or smear them or just take whatever they've said out of context, and then just some fucking dopey wanker of an anchorman on the news will do and so the senator said this, and then just get sucked up. So Shawneen comes in with the stats. 200,000 gangsters, 80-20 rule, 80% are just punks, but that 20%. Lou, I love Texas. Everyone carries and everyone knows it, and no one wants to use their gun because they know they'll get shot back at. I thought Chicago was some of the harshest gun laws out here. Texas seems to be doing well. I mean, you got Fauci up there in, the CDC, which again is an unelected government body. I don't even know if it's officially a government body. And you could almost see he looked like he was going to start crying when he heard how well Texas and Florida had done. And he was calling it a ticking time bomb. Fair play. Well, Martin, great to see you. Keane Wallace play. Fucking Keane Wallace. Jimmy Bars, probably to do with the retarded Chirac culture, they have harsh laws. Can you elaborate a bit more on that, please, Jimmy? Fauci always has a look on him as if he's smirking, like it's all one big joke. Look, Rachel, good to see you, love. Here's the thing with the likes of Gates, Fauci, that they're very unremarkable. Did you see this video of this kid singing, Dr. Fauci, give us vaccines? So I'm going to have to show you this, man. This is this kid, he has to have the Autist of the Year award. Hold on, I have to show you this, man. It's remarkable. Let me see. You got to see this. Here we go. Let's do it.
Dr. Fauci, give us vaccines. Help all the people who have been quarantined. We'll wear our masks and we'll have to stay distant. We'll wash our hands and we'll be more resistant. Fauci, yes? Promise us, please.
Promise us, please.
We'll have a cure that can fight off this disease. Restrictions will lift with some ease. Dr. Fauci, don't forget me.
You see, and what happens is people like that get into governmental positions and, basically tell the plebs what to do. You know what I mean? Sean Thornton, what's the crack, Martin? That lad has dangerous levels of soy in his system. Yeah, I mean, the media have turned these people into, mythical characters. It's just, it's like the saying, a fool and his money are easily parted. The same thing can be said for a fool and his liberty are easily parted. What some people will do for a little attention. Yeah, it does make you wonder, doesn't it? People like that get wedgied. I mean, he's like a textbook. In Saved by the Bell, where Screech was always a nerd. You know what I mean? Mr. Building, but like there was like the proper nerds in Saved by the Bell that were just like cartoony. They was just so nerdy that they were kind of like, they'd be brought in every now and again. But like he was like that. It was like, you know, I can imagine he would have got like perfect SAT awards, and his mother would take him to get them autographed by the president or something. That lad's an ancient myth. Got that one right. He's the kid who was protected by all the anti-bullying laws. You know, there's a lot to be said for bullying, really. You know, it's cruel and often unusual, but in some ways, it tempers you and toughens you up for later life. You know, it's I'm not advocating that or anything, but like I used to work for my uncle, my dad, my other uncle, and they would just fucking constantly bollock me the whole time. And in school, they'd be like, "You're Maloney." You know, you get a bit of a mild hazing, and at the time it sucks, but then it kind of tempers you in the fire a bit. And I think some people are just like, there are people out there who've never been in a fight. You know what I mean? It's like that they don't know they've never felt that. You know, the adrenaline, the fear, you know, the stakes of what it's like to win or lose a scrap on the playground, the fear of crying. Like there was one lad who, I won't mention any names, but he'd had a fight on St. Patrick's Day years ago, and he was actually winning the fight, but at the same time he was going. So even though he was winning the fight, by default he lost the fight because he was crying. So so basically a lot of people out there have fortunately never had, you know, they slip under the radar. They never had a good hiding. And again, I'm not advocating it, but it's when you've kind of been through the mill, you're toughened up for later on in life. Bullying, messing is how society regulates itself, says Harry McLaughlin. How are you getting on, Double Dave? They have no skin in the game, running around with their mouth running and no consequences. Well, but the thing is, society now has, like, if you look at the old days, if somebody insulted you or insulted your mother, or there would be some sort of duel, you know, there would be some sort of a show of integrity, you know, like going with like Homer Simpson, the time he was doing glove slap, I don't take crap. You know, it was like, I challenge you to a duel. You know, there's none of that. I mean, obviously, you don't really want to have pistols at dawn because there's serious implications to that. But it's more of a, you know, that kind of honorable culture of like, did you just besmirch my good lady's name? How dare you? You shall feel the full wrath of my vengeance. You know, and it was, you know, back in the day, you know, well, actually not growing up in Ireland, because it'd be like, you'd have a fight with someone and you'd win. And then like 6 months later, the boys would be able to fucking jump you. Even though you've shook hands and you think it's all sorted out, there'll be lads just waiting in teenage discos or fucking street corners. But I think, you know, the Travellers, fair play to them. They have that system where if they have a dispute, they'll go down a lane, bare knuckle boxing, and just thrash it out for half an hour, 45 minutes. And at the end of it, it's like, no, it was your fault. No, I said it. Fair play, lad. Fair play. Come on, fair play. And then it's done. Do you know what I mean? It's like usually a little bit of fisticuffs. And like, there's so many people there on Twitter, for example, who are like, they know that they're like, what are you going to do if you come near me? I'll get the guards after you. But like, there would be a certain, like, even knowing that the guards would be after you, in that moment of just going, here, look, you know, you were writing some, whoa, and then they'd be like, ah. It's a good way to be. Fisticuffs at dawn, fighting solves everything, says Sean Taunton. Kevin Parlay from Liverpool is after you. Who's Kevin Parlay? Cops get called if you do that here. Man, they get called everywhere. Like, I mean, like, I remember back in the 90s, you'd hear stories in England about like a burglar who'd break into your house and then he'd trip over your couch and then he would sue you for compensation. You know, it's like, what kind of a world, like, who made those laws? You know, it's like everything becomes so fucking litigious. And I think Ireland is quite litigious in terms of like, they follow the American model. I remember hearing a story about a girl was telling me that they had a hotel and there was a communion going on in the hotel, and the kids had ran up to the gym and put a treadmill on, and the young lad whose communion it was running on the treadmill gym, the gym's treadmill, and then he fell and he banged his teeth and lost his teeth on the treadmill, and the hotel had to pay 80,000 euros in compensation, which meant the premium the hotel had to pay annually went up exorbitantly. And you kind of think to yourself, like, where were the parents' responsibility? You know, it's kind of, yeah. What's the crack in Sweden in terms of coddling of kids' participation medals? Nah, not that I know of, to be fair. You know, I did give Sweden a hard time for many years. And I think, you know, it's actually, things seem to be mellowing out here in Sweden a bit. But saying that, like, I used to go, like, for example, I kind of hang out with mostly expats now, to be quite honest with you. I don't really see my Swedish mates much, and the Swedish people I meet are usually hanging out in Irish pubs. And I know that's a bit, you know, I just think it's more crack. Like I go to I have a local pub I go to. I know everyone in there. There's a load of Irish lads working on sites as steel fixers and engineers, and it's fucking sound. It's good crack. You know, it's so yeah, I guess stick to my own kind, you know. Peter Cusick. Oh, you Peter. Mark Shortall. I think some people need a bit roughed up, especially if they're mouthy, but I wouldn't wish serious bullying on my worst enemy. That's a very good point. It's a very good point. No, it's not like, I've always been the kind of person who like, if I see bullying going on, I'll step in. I always have done. I hate injustice, and I hate arbitrary use of force. You know, I fucking hate it, man. I always have. I've always, you know, rebelled against that kind of stuff. And, you know, sometimes I'll do it and I'll be afraid to do it. You know, I'll be like, right, I'm gonna get shit for this. Like a lot of the time I've jumped in to prevent someone who's getting bullied, and then I'm the one who fucking ends up with the bullied party gets away with it. But I kind of always ended up with the flack afterwards. But I was able to kind of take care of myself as well. Read a good book there, Coddling of the American Mind. I'll have a little look at that. Coddling of the American Mind. The Coddling of the American Mind, How Good Intentions and Bad Ideas Are Setting Up a Generation for Failure, is a 2018 book by Greg Lukinoff and Jonathan Haidt. Is an expansion of a popular essay the two wrote for The Atlantic in 2005. You know what? There's a simple saying that Danny Cass, French Toast brother, told me once, which was, ships are safest in harbour, but that's not what they're built for. And I kind of, you know, you have to kind of look at it from that point of view. But I mean, if you look at China now, yeah, China have come up with a policy of making their men hyper masculine, and at the same time in the West it's about toxic masculinity, and which is all fucking pseudo scientific bollocks, man. Sometimes I think you got these lecturers and these what they call tenured professors who they basically ran out of stuff to talk about. You know what I mean? Like I think a lot of this stuff is a diversion. Like if you look at the unrest in America pre 9/11, before the fucking never-ending war on terror happened, it was a prosperous country. Like I remember, like cousins would come over from America and they'd always have like Class Air Max or Reebok Pump, and you know, or like they were always renting out sweet rental cars. And then, yeah, I think just like it seems to be like it was like the golden fucking place to be was the States, but like since the war on terror, the fucking financial crash in 2008, capital cronyism, corporatism, you know, it's like England. There's parts of England, there's estates in England that are almost like third world levels, you know, and I think people are, you know, when you have corporations, you know, like Goldman Sachs or Coca-Cola that are pushing these kind of you know, Ben and Jerry's, equality and this and that, and you're like, right, okay, you know, what about like the Occupy Wall Street movement that was a I think that was like they kind of. It's almost like these corporations and big bodies, governmental bodies. They're basically hijacked. Like, okay, if you look at like left-wing activism, you had like the G8 summit in Geneva. You'd have people like the left wing was like Rage Against the Machine. It was it was people who were against global fascism, corporate fascism. You know what I mean? It was about that freedom, and somehow that's been hijacked. And now this generation is pretty much a bunch of fucking coddled softies who have been indoctrinated with bullshit modules in college, and now they're actually on the same side as big tech and corporations, and no one fucking takes a step back and goes, hang on a minute, and the Overton window has just shifted ridiculously. Okay, let's see your comments. I've bullied the bully, and they always seem to get quieter for some time afterwards. Good. Okay, think about being in the soft sciences. You have to constantly come up and seek out something to publish yourself to survive. Yeah, it's the creation of work, and it keeps you in the business. Ireland country is run by cunts who don't even get really bullied, but they get the odd tease. But their ego is so big that they take it to heart, and when they move to Dublin for uni, they can meet. Yeah, I mean, 1 second. Bear with me now. Bear with me. Gotta plug in the old computer. Like, I know I might seem to be kind of going over the same thing quite a bit, but yeah, when you look at politicians, they're some of the fucking worst people. Like, they have no people skills. Like, a lot of them are real slimy. They always have this like pseudo diplomatic. Oh, how are you? Great to see you. Great, yeah. Oh, and don't forget now, I'll be looking for the vote. Yes, this kind of Seamus Mortimer, Aloysius kind of crack, We see Bad Religion and Black Flag on the side of Amazon makes me want to puke. Yeah, well, there you go. They have the price. Other sad, resentful cunts who hate oppressive culture of rural Ireland. What a load of shite. Yeah. Again, most of them rise to prominent positions inside the Pale. And like I noted, I mean, this isn't anything against people from Leinster or Dublin, but it just seems to be it obviously, the capital city will often lure those who are seeking, the highest position, like Washington or London, and but it was interesting when you look at the history of Ireland that it was a fair play to Connacht. Connacht was like for years, like they had their own crew, and then there was the O'Neills. So Ulster was basically under the control of the O'Neill clan, and then I think Connacht then was under the Rory O'Connor. And but if you look at like when King Henry came in, I don't know, it was Henry the Fifth, and they would send sons over, and apparently for 2 centuries, no monarch had came to England or came to Ireland, and then was it Henry VIII who came over? I can't really remember, but you just see that it was always like kind of Anglo rule in Dublin, or with inside the Pale. And when you watch this, actually, I'll get it, because if any of you are interested, it's worth actually having a look. What is it now? The history. It's quite interesting. And then there's the History of Ireland Part 2. I'll get the link for you. So if you want to watch this, I'll put that in the old chatting. And if you're watching this later on and you would like to throw a few quid my way for the chat, go to PayPal/Maloney's Digest if you want to throw a few Ashton Touchners towards the man, as in this man here. Was that George Carlin? What's it here? Any word from the character that played Seamus Mortimer? He played the role brilliantly. Yeah, I think he's getting into doing his own kind of media idea. He's got all the right gear. He's an absolute. He's one of the most talented dudes ever, Michael Brown, and I think I might get him on. Might get him on for a chat, actually. Matthew Berry. I take a hottie any day of the week over this bunch. He was on the take, but he was a good leader in the way that a leader should be. UVF ordered by MI5 to kill him. They turned it down. Well, I didn't know that. Have you lost contact with any of the books, boys, or are you in good terms? I'm good terms, isn't like, but you don't, you kind of, when you don't see, like, I'm away from them. Like, I mostly speak to Tom. He's good for keeping in touch. But like, yeah, it's the kind of thing, like, you meet up and it's back to how it was. Dave, what's your Bitcoin wallet address? I didn't even know I had one. I don't know. But can you, is there a Coinbase way of donating, is there? Does anyone know that? Do they? Coinbase job. Have a Coinbase wallet. I don't know if that does anything, but yeah, it'd be any crypto you got, man. Crypto me up. Crypto me this fatwa. Oh, Mr. Crypto my stream. I want the crypto. I want the green. I need the cryptocurrency. Sorry about that. I'm just singing about the crypto crack. I will see if I can put that up. Yeah, I can tip you Bitcoin if you have a wallet. Oh, fucking hit me up with a few fucking bitchines, man. A few bitchines. Coinbase, yeah, okay. Let's see if I can put a little linking into that. Oh, Mr. Bitcoin, where the fuck did you come out of? Biden wants to take capital gains. They're just fucking sucking literally everything they can out of people, man. It's fucking bollocks, man. It's fucking bollocks. Any other questions you want me to, or any recent events you'd like me to discuss at all? Bear with me. I'll have a look at this. Smoking bowls by the seaside. Let me see. There's no two. Crypto job. Talks amongst yourselves there, lads. The gift of crypto. For the love of crypto. How do I do this? Oh, Mr. Crypto, you are strong. Brezzies Mental Health, you know something's wrong. He's on the CBD oil tonight. Oh, Mr. Brezzy, won't you make it all right? Or just fucking send it to me on PayPal there, and I'll Dave me Oshkin, and I'll figure it out for next time. Fair play to you. Appreciate it. Anything you got, man. Anything you got. Let's see. The crypto crack would make for a good Hardy Books episode. It would. Like, the lads just discovered some fucking small bit of some random crypto that just went up, and they were like, "Fuck, we're millionaires, lads!" And then the whole lot got pumped and dumped. It's all fucking gone, man. I only got into the crypto. Seems like the best way to be a responsible adult and invest a bit of money. The other way is futures, oil futures, but that's, you really want to know what the fuck you're doing with that. And it's like every you can fucking get, it's gambling at the end of the day. It's gambling, let's face it. But I mean, like, what have you got a better odds of doing, that or fucking horses? Another thing is quite interesting. It seems that the AMC and the GameStop stocks are still holding. I was talking to a lad who said that apparently they are insured. These hedge fund bankers are apparently insured with 70 trillion. Is this true? And if so, who will be paying for that? Crypto Quato, a man Christian Fallen. Chris Perez, whoa, I'm flying across the USA today. Haven't started drinking yet, but I'll wait to get on the airport at noon. Chris Perez is going from fucking LA to Boston. Get yourself a few Bloody Marys on the plane there and just really enjoy yourself, man. Really enjoy yourself. Bookie crypto, yeah. If you know of any geniuses, like if I understood the concept of, that would be fucking brilliant, man. That would be absolutely brilliant to get some back end lads who are really good at this kind of stuff and open a book, like Bookie crypto or something like that, and just have it as like an Irish crypto coin where people are just like, you want to buy some hash, man? You'll have to get me some fucking bookies. How's the book come along? That's Noel Finn. I got a bit fucking stuck because I was talking about how Buzz's 24th grandfather started the first Irish pub after Cromwell kicked him out of Tipperary after the siege of Clonmel, because he was going down to meet Johnny Magner to discover his secret in cider. But our fucking Melody Pugh, how are you getting on, love? You don't like me, old Java. Boney Maloney, fucking, you know the correct word. Were you thinking of ever making another Hardy book series in the future? I would be, yeah, I would be. I'll see. We'll have to fucking, I'll have to have a crack with Mikey Boy. I love the story about the dude who bought oil futures and then had to take possession of like 100 barrels of oil on his house. What was the crack there, Sean? What made me move to Sweden? I ended up. I was in Eos in Greece. Just, man, that was an experience about living in Greece, which was just like an island in the sun in the Mediterranean. And I realized that you don't have to have a lot to have a very rich life. And playing music all day, cliff jumping, eating food, going to the town at night, having the crack, walking back down with a few people I was living in the house with, and just like wash, rinse, and repeat. It was a really nice lifestyle. And then to think people are just so fucking, laden down with pressure and mortgages. It's fucking, man, it's ridiculous. Like we're just being farmed like for our time and energy and being forced to do shit we don't want to do. And there has to be a better way. Randy Quaid is after you. Get him on the podcast to settle the beef. Randy Quaid, he's a fucking, that lad looks like he's done a couple of acid tabs in his time. Hazard Raza, when's the next CastleCon and where can I buy Hardy Books merch? Yeah, I might just start fucking pumping some Hardy Books merch out, man. Tranmere Rovers, good season. Let's have a look where they are in the season. What do you think about the Super League going tits up? I think that's ridiculous, man, to take like that. It's such a fucking WWE American thing to do. Do you know what I mean? It's like, we'll make the Super League. It's the globalization of football. Like, what's wrong with the Champions League? Is that not enough? Okay, let's see where Tranmere are. Tranmere are doing all right, man. They're in League 2 and they're in 6th place. I would like to see Tranmere go up. Tranmere should get someone there. Fuck the Super League, says Chris Pez. There is a huge need for Hardy Books merch. I know there is, mate, but we're fucking, idiots. Like, so what can you do? Stony Bologna, as we say in the States. Really love the Spotify book chapters. Keep up the good work. Yeah, I will. And for anyone who hasn't got onto the Hardy book, I have the videos on the playlist here, and I was actually thinking about getting a start on that today. I might do after on this. Ben Koffenberg, don't forget about Woody Allen and Oliver Stone. Healthy body and healthy mind. Yeah, when in series 2, when we were in Pat Kirby's gym, there was Pat used to have like this stone. We used to call it Oliver Stone, and this big log you'd lift was Woody Allen and Oliver Stone. Now, 1 second, I'll just answer this phone. All right there, Helene, lad.
Lad.
Yeah. Can I ring you back? Because I'm just doing a live stream on YouTube. You can watch this live yourself if you go on to Maloney's Digest on YouTube. Ja, do it live på internet. Og det finns 54 personer som tittar på er. Ja. Men vi hörs. Ja, hej då. Ha så bra. Yeah, so that taking care of business. Dave, please can you tell me how you guys managed to make it look like Angela Quaid bailed out of a car? It's been driving me nuts. It looks amazing. Yeah, actually, I can't remember how they did that. But yeah, tucking and rolling. I used to always be tempted to see if I could fucking do that from a moving car. And it made its way into the story. What do you think about boys frying up chickens these days? Would you not be better boiling them, huh? They should make a league called Garda League. Just gods, like the gladiators, but like, yeah, they're just fucking on like platforms hitting each other with those sticks, and they do the eliminator at the end. You get John Fashanu and Erika Johnson and Gordon Strachan. Gladiators ready. 3, 2, 1. Have you got the power of the gladiators? Millennium Barn Dance to be hosted by Jet from Gladiators. Must not turn into an all-night rave. Repeat, must not turn into an all-night rave. Stupid fucking game. Furio Giunta. Oh, that was brilliant. What was that with the golf? Just go, see, my Uncle Junior. See, it's very expensive. The medical bills, doctor. You understand? Here's a present for you. Stupid fucking game. Furio. Oh my God. I feel so bad for Furio. I think it was it's about 5 years since that's 4 years since I started watching, since I last watched Sopranos, but I think it's time to watch Sopranos again. My 5 stripes can't catch a break. Would that be the guards from the 26 counties, just gladiator style? Yeah, I guess it would, and they can fight the what is it? It's not the RUC. What are they called? The IS. What the fuck are they called? PSNI. Shocked to find out you're in Vikings, lad. Oh, hi. This boy can do fucking drama. Yo, Martin. What has the Boo been up to? Seems he went pretty low key after the series ended. I think he's fucking done with it, man. He's thing is with the Boo, absolutely talented at what he does, and he's probably. I mean, I actually told him yesterday he's my favorite character, and he was always. There was never any fucking. I don't want to say that. It was just the man rolled the sleeves up and fucking did a Jason McAteer in the Vidal Sassoon advert and just gave it his all. But I think he's not interested anymore. I don't think. But yeah, that's it really. Craig Fisher, how are you doing, Craig, lad? Occam's Brute. What was the role you auditioned for in Game of Thrones? I auditioned for a guy called the Titans Bastard, who he only had like one role, and then it cut the bit out where he was supposed to be like ripped apart by bad boys, but he was like, I once met a woman like you at a pleasure house in Leeds, or whatever it was, and he was. I did a great audition for Robert Stern, who was the casting director in Nina Gold's place, and he said that was a great audition, and I've walked out with it going, yeah, mate, I fucking smashed that. But then the guy who got the role was like looked like a fucking England baby, but he's got a few bob. Yeah, he looked like the kind of lad you'd see in Ibiza Uncovered. And the other one was just like young farmer, and I was like, but my lord, we're only fucking farmers or something like this. The Boo is brilliant. Yeah, he's unreal, man. Like when it came to doing live gigs, it was a pleasure to watch. It was just fantastic. Tom, I know you're watching this, mate. I love you to bits. Only country fucking rings me. What Went to my auntie's wake in Mayo, says Richard Corcoran. Been to one before, it was mad. Just shook strangers' hands for 4 hours. Yeah, it's a bit weird. I remember when my nan died, like obviously the Maloney family, like my dad's side, they were a family of, they were hardy bastards. There was not one of the lads who was under 6'1", and they're very respected around Swinford. And that funeral, I mean, there was cars parked for like a mile each way, and it was just my nan's house. They came in the front door and went out the back door. It was like, sorry for your loss, sorry for your loss, sorry for your loss, sorry for your loss. And by fuck, man, I was like Bertie Ahern shaking all the hands. But I think, it's funny when I look at funeral culture in Ireland, it still is, it's like over here in Sweden, if you die, you basically, the body is waiting in a morgue or moratorium for at least a month. And which I think is everything like Sweden, it's just so fucking slow and bureaucratic. Even when the tsunami happened, apparently they love this crack of like, ska vi ha din fika? We need to can someone, like, imagine a tsunami hit Thailand, yeah, and there's fucking, unfortunately, there's dead Swedes, everyone's dead, like loads of dead people, God rest them. And apparently the Swedish response was, quick, can someone get us more wienerbröd? I will have a vanilla slice. Now, have we spoken to the people in Thailand? And like, meanwhile, like, Australia, England, everyone had just gone, get them out quick. Canada, Norway, Italy. People would just scramble out your emergency teams and find as many of these people, these survivors, as we can. And apparently, I can't remember who it was. I heard the story, but someone came in and like, what the fuck are you idiots doing, man? Get your people out there now. And they're like, oh! So they got their best people out there. But it's the same thing with like funerals. People die here. And like when my mate died, I had to wait 6 weeks for him to be buried, man. And it just felt like, and I see it with other people who've died. There's the thing is in Ireland, when someone dies, it's like maximum like 4 days. So like, the body is prepared, embalmed, and it's put out in the funeral home. People come, they have a wake, they pay their respects. And there's this, as sad as it is, there is a sense of closure to the funeral. Like people, like they're going, okay, that's done. The body is put away. But it's almost like here, it's like, well, I don't know, because I have work and I'm going to Spain on holiday in 2 weeks. I don't know if it's a case of people having to, like, just, over here, it's like when it comes to Swedish people, it's like, or in Stockholm especially, because it's I suppose it's it's a capital city and it's quite busy. But it's like you meet someone and it's like, oh, do you want to meet up today? And it's like, whoa, I can meet you in 2 weeks for a lunch. And I think it's like that with funeral culture here. And in Ireland, it is that rapid kind of the funeral is over, it's done, and then it's like you have to like get over the grieving process and decompartmentalize or kind of deconstruct that person's life in accordance to the will or whatnot. And you're going to so many funerals over the years because in essence, if you come from a small town, it's like the town is your extended family. So like my mum, for example, I'll have to go to that funeral tonight. Like my mum would be talking to the brother, and like, oh, I see you there. Yeah. 6 o'clock. Yeah. Campbell's. Yeah. And then, like they're listening to, like, you've got the news, you've got the national news, and then you have the local news. And after the local news is, well, they change it to some like nice soft bing bing boo doo boo doo doo doo. The death has occurred of Brady Schmidt from Ochagaur, and then it's like, oh geez, I have to go to that one now. And it's almost like the death lottery, but that's the culture. So I think that Ireland is a nation that is very close to the customs of death and the finality of everything. And I think it gives people that kind of bittersweet perspective on life, and you're around it. So I think that's why Irish people really do fucking push it to the limit, Whereas here in Sweden, if you go to the funeral home, it's like there's a franchise that does. It's not like, you know, Campbell's or Sharkey's or O'Neill's funeral parlor. It's like, it's called Fonus, and then you see it like you wouldn't know what it is. It looks like an estate agent. You'll see a couple of little pictures and, you know, a dog and pictures of people in black and white when they were young, and, you know, it's like, this is the package of this funeral, and it's all very sanitized. Whereas in Ireland, you know, you go to a funeral and you see, like, I see my first dead body when I was 13. Like, my next door neighbor was an old woman who lived beside us, and you just see her in the window and you'd be like, hey, hello. And then her sister or her daughter comes in, she's like, would you like to see ma'am? She's in the living room. And me and my friend Brian Turbo went into the funeral, or into the small little living room, which was maybe 20 feet wide. It was really small, almost like box room, and we're sitting there looking at this 80-odd-year-old woman who's laid out in front of us, and we're like, and yeah, it was one of those kind of awkward moments where we were trying not to laugh. Now, enough about the fucking death crack. You know, we'll keep going, but I think, you know, as I was reading in this book, The Art of War by Sun Tzu and the boys, there's a bit in here which I will. Is there an appendix here? No, there's not. But it's interesting about how they talk about the Taoists, how Taoist monks would go to, like, back in the day, if people couldn't afford a funeral, they would be sent to basically a fucking junkyard for bodies, and you'd have, you know, these monks would go there to see the, you know, the fucking decaying bodies and the smell and the kind of the hideous nature of it, in order to kind of remove themselves from that material attachment that they have to the world. So that's interesting. But I'll see if I can have a little look at this. I was actually thinking about sitting down and giving this a read, because it's basically, you know, one thing that you can say about this that I kind of took to heart was, do what is easy, or do what is difficult when it is easy. And there's a lot of that can be, you know, in other words, if you've got the time to do something, like you're going traveling or something, pack your bag 2 days in advance. Whereas for me, it'd be fucking last minute all the time. And if you just eat the frog, do the shitty thing that you don't want to do it first thing, get it done, get out of the way. So, Lulu, holy shit, in Cinco de Mayo, cold brews and street tacos. You know, that sounds absolutely fantastic. Cold beers and really good fresh tacos. Like, I remember I was in Los Angeles, and I think it was on like Olympic Boulevard or something. There was a taco truck that were doing like 3 tacos for $5. And like over there, like coriander or cilantro, as you call it in the States, like coriander's it's a love-hate thing. People either fucking hate it or it's an acquired taste. But man, I just dumped that on. I had like shrimp tacos, chorizo, chicken. Shit. I did the breads in the taco truck. Okay, let me have a look at your comments, lads. Whatever. Lionel Rich T, I like that one. Do you support Inter Ennis, Terry Durkin's favourite club? Terry Durkin was fucking Galway United, hey? Or was it Galway Salt Hill Atletico Salt Hill? Robbie Heenan. Was the 6-week wait pre-pandemic, or did it have to do with that? I guess not in Sweden. Oh no, that's just how it is. It's been like that since I can remember. Kieran Patterson, what is that accent? I can't tell. Is that my accent? Is it? It's a fucking mix of everything at this stage. Let me see. Haven't been to Mayo funeral in years, thank God. But I feel so sorry for people in recent times who can't attend or meet in a pub afterwards because of lockdowns. That's fucking tough, man. You know, that's really sad when you think about it. At the end of the day, when someone close to you dies, you need the sense of touch. You know what I mean? Like the loving touch between family members and good friends. You know, even shaking hands, a consoling pat on the back or an arm around your shoulder, that really does make a big difference. And the fact that people have, fucking hell, man, thinking like there's children there's women who've been giving birth to their kids and they're just fucking put into a plastic sheet, or there's like, elderly people who have like weeks to live anyway. They're just fucking left alone to die. And that's really fucking sad, man. I mean, since when have the West ever fucking done what China has done? Like, how come? I mean, I just don't get it, man. Don't get it. Did my mum's funeral during lockdown. Fucking 8 people there, man. Mate, it felt terrible. Had to wait 3 weeks to cremate her too. Sorry to hear that, Lionel, mate. That's made grieving incredibly hard. Yeah, I'm really sorry to hear that. And anyone else in that position who's had to deal with that kind of thing, I can only imagine, mate. I'm sorry that you lost your mum. I hope you find a way to grieve properly, Alana Richie. It fucks with you for years if you can't, in my opinion. Sean, words of wisdom as usual from Shawneen. The Darkened Shrine. Sorry to hear that. Planted both my parents in my 20s. Don't wish that on anyone. Yeah, my mum, in fairness to her, she'd both my parents lost a parent young. My mum was 16. She had to come back from England because her mum had a brain hemorrhage, and I don't know if she got to say goodbye to her, but yeah, that was a sad time for me, ma. And my dad's dad was, both my grandparents on my mum and dad's side, they were working in, like, my grandfather on my dad's side was working in the mines in, I suppose, Barnsley and Sheffield, and I think coal mines, and he got emphysema from the dust. So the poor fella, basically couldn't, suffocated because of emphysema. And my grandmother on my mum's side died of brain hemorrhage. It was cancer and out in 3 months. Fuck, man. It's criminal how lockdown restrictions don't allow people to grieve and give people a proper send-off. Yeah, it is, mate. It is. I love Sun Tzu's ideas on what makes for proper leaders. Yeah, I'm actually gonna read it and digest it, and then I'll give you my my hot take on it for another one. Never attack the high ground. Sun Tzu, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yeah, and if you're on the high ground, break like water, they say. Or Bruce Lee, as I put in one of the I think it was the second recent podcast, be like water. Water is formless. I mean, these are things that can be applied. I remember watching this policeman who did this course on linguistic judo, where it's basically someone says something, it's like, Wacha! And you go, I appreciate that, sir, but so I'll see if I can find that lad and put it in the link. Helene A, how are you, Helene? Wrap this shit up and come over. I'll trade you shoes for Speedo. No, you're a cheeky one. Lou. Sorry if you lost, man. That's tough. Much love to you. Hi, Bill here today. I'm Mark Shortall. Speaking as someone who moved here when I was younger, I like the way the Irish people accept and appreciate humor in any situation. It's class. Humor is the best medicine. Laughter is the best medicine. I remember another one of my friends who died, Tommy, who was an absolute fucking legend. Another lad taken way too soon. But it was the crack I had that kind of to kind of cheer other people up as well. Like I even remember when I was talking to his mum, I said, I was going to come dressed to the funeral in a waistcoat with piano keys on it. But I thought it'd be a bit over the top. She got a good laugh out of it. But it is, man. Laughter is the best medicine, and yeah, just fucking keep it easy, keep it breezy, or as McGregor would say, keep it flowy, yeah. Joseph Remmert, you should read Immovable Wisdom by Takawan Soho. Immovable Wisdom, you say? Sounds like interesting. Like wisdom and knowledge cost nothing. You know what I mean? It's something that you can pick up and apply for the rest of your life. So make yourself wise, yeah. And you should also watch Danny Dyer's Who Do You Think You Are, because he dresses up in a whole different array of costumes, and it's fucking brilliant. Jimmy Bars, it's pathetic. Like, we weren't even allowed to have a wake for my brother. He was fucking 29. Like, fuck this country. Yeah, man. England is just a fucking joke, man. It really is. I think all nations have basically been reduced to. If you look at the Build Back Better shit, you know what I mean? Build Back Better. You got Tony Blair, Prince Charles, Greta Thunberg, Klaus Schwab, Biden, Boris Johnson, Prince Charles. The whole list goes on. And it got me thinking that these people, Gates as well, they're basically middle management. You know, it's almost like they've got a manifesto, someone who's basically so like these fuckers who are running, like, let's say, the very top of all these. It's like if you get 5,000 people and you play heads and tails, and whoever wins, someone will end up winning everything. And that's basically how it is with power and wealth. Like because of the fact that we have aviation and we have trade routes and instant communications, it's basically allowed a certain amount of people to win all these fucking coin tosses and just amass all of the wealth in the world. So you listen to this, there's probably someone like fucking Klaus Schwab or Soros, or fucking, I don't know, the Rothschilds or someone like that at the top of the fucking pyramid, that they're just boring as fuck, man. They just think of everything in like numerics and pie charts, and it's like they have no like charismatic. Like, have you ever watched an interview with George Soros? He's just fucking. You'd nod off listening to him, or at least Bill Gates has some bit of fucking like your man Klaus Schwab is like, we need to protect ourselves against the incoming cyber attack because I believe that there will be an attack on the internet that will have far-reaching ramifications in the world. It's like, mate, you're dressed like a fucking Jedi, a weird like that weird suit, you know. It looks like a fucking tortoise, and people are like, you know, everyone's going to his little World Economic Forum, all your little celebrities, and you know, Leonardo DiCaprio, Jay-Z, all the boys going, oh, nice one, Klaus, mate. I'd like to fucking drop Klaus off in, I don't know, fucking Ballymun, Ballyfermot, you know, Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, fucking Solentuna, Toxteth, East End of London. And I'd be like, go and make your way through there, lad. There we got a fucking Outlaw Barber. I was telling the lads about the pirate coin there, Tyler. And if you're interested in this kind of chat, Tyler Schuler down here, aka Outlaw Barber, has some very well articulated. He's a great orator. I mean, the guy's a fucking barber. He cuts hair for a living. But do give Outlaw Barber a subscribe there. And also Jimmy Bars, he's worth fucking giving an old subscribe. It'll cost you nothing, but it's not what I mean. Kevin Ball, here's another one, lad. Kevin Ball as well. He's a great little animator. Give him a sub. What else? Let me see. What happened to Kevin Ian? Thanks, Lou. Anytime it's a bad time to lose someone. I didn't know you'd lost someone. My old man passed away recently too. Foreign relatives had to live stream. It couldn't come. Yeah, my uncle Tim also, God rest him, he died as well, and it was the same thing. It was a live funeral. Sorry for your loss there, and also Jimmy with your brother. Yeah, let me see. I just got here. Thanks for the support. No worries, Tyler, lad. Deadly cereal. Welcome to the delightful fishing village of Boozle, Mr. Schwab. Ja, who the fuck is this, lad? Guess you Chinese. What that Chinese? Yeah, what are you fucking saying about my mum? I did not say anything about you. Yeah, who's this you fucking egghead, because I fucking Jedi jackers. And then they'll just bash him in. Never finished Sweden. Yeah, tangent man. Never finished the story how I ended up in Sweden. So I was living out there, just having a proper DOS, having great times, made pure times. And we made Sasha Klein. He had a charity with this Danish bird saving street cats and dogs. So we saved 32 cats and 16 dogs. And I was going to go back to Ballyfermot and do television and film. And Sasha goes to me, "Oi, what are you doing in September?" And I was like, "Don't know really. Maybe go back to college." And he's like, "Do you want to go to Sweden?" I'm like, "Fucking Sweden, man. Fucking Sweden. How random." And I helped him we took 7 dogs with us from the Greek islands, the Cyclade Islands, to Athens, and then up to just a fucking 5 headers and 7 dogs, and snuck the load of them on a train from Venice to Munich, and then rented a car in Munich thanks to Justin Masler. And Justin had to then drive the car all the way back to Munich to drop it off and get the train back up. And we couldn't fit my guitar and his guitar, so we had to leave them in a lock up in Munich, but he came up a couple of days later. And then I ended up meeting a bear and moving back to Sweden, and then that broke up, and then I met another bear, and I had kids with her, and then we broke up, and then I got another bear, and she's not from Sweden, she's English, so it's a bit fucking handy like that, you know what I mean? What to say? Let's read a few more of these. Kev, losing your father is rough. Lost mine 12 years ago, early 20s. Still not really over it, but you find a way to get on with life. I couldn't imagine doing it during a lockdown. Bless you, sir. Nice one there, Lou, mate. That's a nice touch. Now, Ted Kaczynski was an arsehole, but he was right. The Industrial Revolution fucked us. Yeah, he's right on a couple of. I mean, you know, the blowing people up bit was wrong, but he does make a good few points. Martin, where can I see the webisodes with your commentary? I haven't done that yet, but you know, that has been taken down by YouTube because on the stream there was footage of Macho Man Randy Savage, and then that was it. Then they blocked it straight up. Even when I did the stream, like obviously the Hardy Books webisodes have a load of unlicensed music in there, and they've taken that off as well. Fucking, what can you do, mate? What can you do, lad? We've got a collab on some animation scheme, like, man. Do you know what, Kev, mate? There's so many people that are onto me to collaborate, and I really, mate, I meant to get back to you on that, and I think we should do. There's another lad called Kenny Noble who I was going to do this thing Mailman with, and I sent him the script. I haven't heard back from him, but I could send you that script as well if you want to give that a go. Just it feels like my fucking head is like, it's just full at the moment. You know, it's really difficult. It's really difficult to feel inspired lately, but I've just got to get back. You know, get back on the horse. Do you think fucking Killian Warner cost Inter Ennis beat the streets? I don't know, Matty, mate. I don't know. Sasha is one cool character. Get him on for a chat again sometime. Yeah, I will do. Mad Lad Massler. With some good crack, managed to catch it randomly at about 2 a.m. Yeah, James G. Nesbitt. Yeah, it was good crack. That was a long one. I think it was like a 5-hour stream as well. But the HR Geiger pictures in the back, they added a mysterious vibe to it. Aaron, YouTube needs a decent competitor who are anti-censorship, frivolous copyright wank. Yeah, like YouTube when it first started it was fucking brilliant, man. You could watch like Rocky IV, you know, it was the Wild West of, and then as soon as fucking Google took over and they had was it ACTA, those laws that came in, it's basically the likes of fucking Warner Brothers and all, you know, all the big fucking record labels, music labels, they wanted their fucking touch, mate. And it makes me wonder how the artists fare out in comparison. KM, how was the crack, Martin? I'm all right, thanks, mate. I'm doing fucking great. I'm enjoying myself on this little ditty. Yeah, but Jimmy, you're dead right. I mean, there is BitChute. And if BitChute starts to have a live streaming platform, I'm thinking about maybe fucking migrating to that or Odyssey or something. Because I mean, like at the end of the day, you just want to fucking, you know, have that little touch where fucking, you know, like for example, people have taken Hardy Books, they've taken the property of Hardy Books and they've uploaded it, they put it on TikTok videos. I don't give a fuck, man. Do you know what I mean? Because I've downloaded so many films and albums over the years, and like, you know, fuck it, you know, it's the way it is. Like, if you make an album, unless you have a big record label behind you, because record labels pay radios to play their tunes, and that's the only way, through repetition. And people hear the Justin Bieber or fucking whatever on the radio over and over again. They're like, oh yeah, do it, apologize, and then it's stuck in people's heads until the next lot of stuff comes along. Would you like to read the script, Chris? Would you? It's good, man. It's good. Yeah, the old days of YouTube, the fucking magical days, man. Netflix US is running the 4 series of the books. That's nice, man. That's a nice touch. That 5-hour stream, that time was absolutely phenomenal crack. I'll have to do it again, man. GridRain741 says Library Odyssey are trying to be an alternative. Well, this is what's going to happen. basically YouTube will overreach with the censorship. I mean, it's the free market of ideas, man. If your idea doesn't hold water and it can be easily refuted and debunked or open dialogue, man. Like, I think everything should be on the fucking table. As soon as you fucking say something can't be said, then you're adding fucking credence to it, which then generates it. But if you basically have open, civilized discussion, a trading of ideas, it's interesting viewing. Like most people love to see a good debate, and often, like if you look at Bobby Sands, he was able, that man was a fantastic debater. What he would do is he would be in the Maze prison, and was it the Maze prison, the H block? And what he would do is he would have debates, but he would take the side of like the loyalists or the English and win debates. So I mean, for the viewer, it's fucking nice to see spicy debates, and I think we need more spicy, open, and controlled dialogue, man. And yeah, that's what I think anyway. I'm away to squash match now. You're all massive-hearted sound skins. Good luck, Jimmy Bars. Much love, baby boy. I can't wait. I'm starting as soon as the stream is over. Maybe a bit of the old devil's cabbage. Yeah. Have you mentioned Hillgate's divorce yet on here? Yeah, I did earlier on in the stream. I was like, even Melinda was just fucking sick of his crack. Let me see. Alternative platforms just get removed. Look at Parler. Sure, it was a cesspool of right-leaning stuff, but no worse than Twitter is nowadays. Very true, Fionn. But the thing is with Parler is they had their servers running through Amazon. So Amazon was just like, I'll have that. Plus Amazon did pretty fucking well out of the lockdown, didn't they? Shy Bennett, mate. 40 years ago, we lost Bobby Sands, MP. Rest in peace, Bobby. Occam's brute. Long-form conversation is the way. It's how Joe Rogan is so popular. Yeah, he is, man. It's Bobby Sands' 40th anniversary today. Wow, that was a coincidence. Peter Hamrock. Time for some creamy pints outside Monroe's in an hour. Monroe's in Galway. Are the pubs open there now? What's the crack? Dave, I hate to sound... Oh, God bless me. I hate to sound like a broken record, but I think some crypto-based type platform will come along and steal users from YouTube. YouTube could do the same thing, though. Yeah, you've got Brave browser, and they have alternative. What is it? BAT. Fuck. Hold on. They do it on the what is it? Fucking bear with me. Yeah, what's it called again? Basic attention tokens. So that's what Brave browsers are. Like Brave is now in competition as a search engine with Google. So they have crypto, and you can basically tip your you can generate crypto coin from the use of the Brave browser, and then you will be able to tip people basic attention tokens, which then you can go onto Coinbase with, and you can then tip them, and they can change that for fiat or Bitcoin, for example. We're all due for a fucking cancelling any day now. Soon everyone will be, and then it will lose all its power. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, people. It's the same thing if you observe lads stuck at like a red light on a pedestrian crossing, and there's no traffic coming, and then one person just looks and like, why are you all standing here? You just walk across the street, there's nothing coming. And then some people are like, oh, look at him. Well, and then another person goes, all right, I'm going to fucking cross too. And then another person, and then everyone goes, oh, well, there's enough people ahead now, let's walk. It's basically like a zebra crossing the Zambezi River, and it's full of crocodiles, and it's like you get the first lad, and it's like he gets pushed in, and then another one goes, and then people are going to get fucking taken down. But I think everyone, all the best people are going to end up cancelled, and then there'll be an alternative platform, and the likes of Google and Twitter and Facebook, they're going to just fucking phase themselves out. That's what's going to happen. And this is what's happening with, like, we could be living to see great times if people wake the fuck up and then just boycott all of these services. And then there will definitely be, there's a market for an alternative platform of just fucking freedom and do it, you know, like, it's the way it be. Thanks for the reminder, VOP Bobby Sands, Peter Hammer. Monroe's in Galway, surely, man. Takeaway pints. Drink them at the canal and then nice evening. So should be nice. Yeah, I did a gig in Monroe's, man. They're good lads. They're good old crack. But could you not just go to the fucking off license and get a few cans by the canal? Or do you just want the creamy touch? Cy Bennett, sure, no problem. God bless those. Hunger for justice. Yes, Bat. Dave knows the crack. Basic attention token. Run MDC. Off topic, but would you ever get tired of interviewed on the podcast? I'd love to hear you guys talking like you did with the other main cast. I spoke to him recently, for the first time in a long time. I don't know. I could ask him, but I don't think he likes to. I think he likes being in character, so I don't think he would, to be honest. Maloney introduced the missus to Hardy books. She loved it. Her favorite character was Uncle Mick. I know, that was the best shot I ever took. The tear to the floorboards, look at the pipeline, had her cracking up. Hey, she sounds like a fucking absolute keeper. Did you watch the new Mortal Kombat movie? I didn't, but I watched Critical Drinker's Flawed Victory, which was he was just like, how did they get there? Who's refereeing these tournaments? Don't know. But he said it was good crack. But I might watch that for the crack. What do you think about DuckDuckGo? Sure. You know, Brave browser's better, I think. Even though I still use Google. Let me see. Trade them in. Robbie Heenan, you get back for viewing ads on Brave. Trade them in. Yeah, I mean, that's the way it's going to go. Charlie White. Ho. Durkin, how's things? Any word on the books? Getting the ball rolling for another season, mate. I'm going to have to ring Mike again and see if we can talk to the fucking numbers pods in RTE. Because what else? You tell me what else has come out of RTE lately. Tell me. I need to know. Tell me. Normal people, is it? There's an awful lot of shagging and that. You know what I'll do? I'll do Hardy books, right? And I'll just cross it over with normal people and we'll just have like sex scenes in it. I'll be like this going, ah! And everyone will be like this. It'll be the talk of McGahan and Twitter. Scouse Ket book for lads trying to buy Ket on a work night. Graham Russell, as ever. Jack Russell snapping at the heels of a Rothweiler. Shamley Faddle. Yeah, what's Oz the Buzz did yourself and Tordorf majorly fall out. Creative genius minds surely have to come back together for the greater good and create some crack. I think he's a solo man. He wants to fly the ship solo, or fucking fly the plane solo. So that's just the way it is, mate. You know what I mean? He might come back, but I ain't gonna fucking push the button, as the Chemical Brothers would say. Fionn Dalton, the rise of woke culture is a response to a conservative world. Soon it will bounce back, I think. Yeah, you know, when I did Hardy books in the beginning, it was a response to the fact that things were uber conservative and just shy crack. And I think then it swung too far the other way. It's just, you can get a nice middle ground, man. Do you know what I mean? Just nice fucking, where everyone's decent to each other and they have good crack. And there's no malice, do you know what I mean? Seems Twitter is targeting anyone with a sense of humor, leaving the platform populated with the most humorless pricks, yet pious, humorless, fucking dense, cheese-headed motherfuckers. I mean, it's just, I've got a love for people of all fucking shapes, all colours and creeds. Generally, if you're sound, I mean, most people are the same the world over, but there is this very small contingent of crackless bastards who want to fucking spoil it for the rest of us. Now, I'm going to say something, and you might take this controversially, but I look at the black community in America, right? And the way that you have these white liberals who come from the most privileged of backgrounds, treating them like babies, man. I mean, like, there must be people just saying, like, who the fuck do you think we are? Do you know what I mean? It's like Malcolm X said that. He said, what was it he said about, like, about the fox and the wolf, and I can't remember who the other comparison was, but he basically said, like, at least the wolf, you know what his intentions are, but the fox will come and he will appear to be smiling. Like, they're making an industry off people over there, and it's like, that shit is racist in itself, man. You know what I mean? It's like, it's the soft bigotry of low expectations. You know, like, I was raised to fucking treat people equally and respect people, and you will have, as my mother taught me, there's good and bad in every society, and it's basically, you treat people on their merits, man. But there are people who are making an industry out of fucking dividing. Like, the point of America was everyone got on. Like, America was the place where everyone got on. You'd have people of all different ethnicities who came together, they worked together, they built the country together, they fucking joked around at each other, and that humor was what fucking defused any lines of ethnic diversity. And, you know, people got on, man. And you know, now it's just this humorless. Like, they did the same thing in communist Russia. Apparently, you making jokes was outlawed. You couldn't fucking you know, you have these parallel societies with inside. Like, fucking hell, man. Imagine how shite crack, like, Stalin would be there fucking clapping, and people would be afraid to stop clapping first because it'd be like, oh, you know, so they would clap for like fucking 10 to 15 minutes. It's mental. But I think there's a small minority of people who are genuinely so deranged that they think this way. But most people across the entire spectrum of society just want to have a nice chilled out time and love thy neighbor, basically. And that might sound like some hippie shit to say, but I have friends and associates from all walks of life. Do you know what I mean? From all different cultures and backgrounds, and fucking get on grand. Mikey Reinhardt, thank you very much, sir. You are a very kind man. You are a good man. Thank you for that, mate. I really appreciate that. That's a nice little touch. That is a very nice touch. Thank you. Twitter, 'tis a dirty puddle that won't cool the hot iron, says Sean. Okay, let's see. That's the problem with Twitter. It gives a small amount of people a louder voice. The cheek of trying to be a white savior. Yeah, I mean, like, it's always the same people, man. Gated communities. Like, look at Nancy Pelosi, for example, with her fucking fridge, 20 grand fridge packed with boutique ice creams. When you have people in the projects, look at fucking Chicago, man. Like, there was one day 18 people were fucking killed in one day. Do they give a fuck about Chicago? No, they don't. It's lip service. It's virtue signaling, and it's you know, fucking mainstream media, and it's fucking bollocks, man. It really is. And it's like, you know, like, how do they ever expect, you know, black communities to progress when they're being patronized and fucking exploited? You know, and it's fucked up, man. Voter ID is racist because minorities are too thick to get one, is basically what they're saying. It's racist, and so anyone who talks common sense, they call it's fucking projection, man, and it's deflection. What does it say here? Now they're alleging the technology used to identify gunshots, ShotSpotter, is being called racist. Oh God, what kind of a fucking stupid world are we living in, man? The overt racism from white celebrities towards black conservative politicians is shocking. Yeah, like your man, Senator Scott. I looked at that. I mean, it came up and I looked at it and I was like, what a nice man. Do you know what I mean? And then you have people who will then call him an Uncle Tom, which is just fucking racist fucking. You see these Antifa clowns calling anyone who's black Uncle Toms because they don't want their fucking neighborhood smashed in. You know, it's just, what the fuck is going on, man? Like, there's no sense in the world. It's like we're I just don't get it at times. But thankfully, you know, where I live, I don't see any of this shit. Like, you know, people are sound, and, you know, it's about respect. Have respect for people. You know, it's like Tony Soprano says in Sopranos, those who want respect earn respect, and you give respect. Associates, man. Most minorities don't appreciate the need to be coddled. No, it is quite offensive. You come from a Guatemalan background, and it's like people talking down to you. It's well, I come from an Irish background, a working class Irish background. Like my when I worked in building stages, and I'm working with lads from Cameroon, lads from Rwanda, lads from Harlem, Irish, fucking Scottish, English, American, Canadian, India, Bangladesh, Poland. You get on as a fucking team, man. When I was training in All Stars, I'm rolling with lads from all over the world, and there's never an ounce of problems. It's all this shit has just been blown out of proportion by media, and especially in America as well. Let me see. Twitter had shown me how dumb humans can be as a whole. Yeah, mate, it's fucking it's frightening. The mayor of Chicago looks like a gremlin, says Chris Pez. Mark Shortall, and how should people ride out the recession? Yeah, because there's going to be a fucking huge recession on the way. Brian O'Malley. How are you, Brian? Top boys. Chicago is segregated. Folks in those neighborhoods live off gas station food. Well, you go to Walmart, like, I was in Walmart and Orange Blossom Trail in Orlando once. And I was like, where's the nutritional food? So you're looking like, even the oranges, like, isn't Florida supposed to be the sunshine state where they grow oranges? The oranges in Walmart in Florida were from California. Like there was everything just fucking had like not E's because that's in Europe, but just weird shit I'd never heard of. And then you go to Whole Foods, which is maybe like 3 miles away, and it's lads rocking up in Lamborghinis and yeah. What do you think? Is there any way out of the proliferation of the internet media? How do you mean, Morgan? That's an interesting question. Is in like the monopolizing of it? I think there is. When it comes to the internet, there's always a way around. Robbie Heenan, voting is a civic duty. It shouldn't be easy. There should be heft to it. It's responsibility. Of course, it's a responsibility. It's like getting 16-year-olds to vote. Like, you're like, okay, there's a big difference between the mind of your average 16-year-old and the mind of a 32-year-old. Like, when I was up to, like, I suppose my mid-20s, and I'd always be voting Green Party. So I'm like, yeah, it's green, it's for the planet. And then you look at what the fucking Green Party have done to Ireland for the rising the price of tax for cars. So basically, they were trying to target solicitors who were driving around in Porsche Cayennes and Range Rovers. But what happens is your man who lives down in Kerry or up in Cavan, who has a family and he needs a 4x4 vehicle, is paying full whack on the size of his fucking car. So like, and that now, to be honest with you, in Ireland, like, there's fucking no one I would vote for, man. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's a fucking wasted vote. You can't get fresh food. No one will deliver or open a shop here. Provincial champions, Aman Lukeen. Final, is it? More good to them. Shout out Senegal. Senegalese lads are fucking sound, man. I'd be playing the fucking... There's a couple of boys around here I'd be playing with. They're good lads, man. They're good lads. Shawnee from Chicago says, love how the BLM leader got caught with several houses over 5 million, and she justifies it due to Marxism. Yeah, I thought they didn't want any private ownership of private property or the fucking nuclear family and whatnot. It's always the fucking crack. Like it's the communism for the fucking plebs at the bottom, but plenty of nice coin for those at the top. How has she got away with it, Shawnee? Zero accountability. Toe cutter. A girl said to me I was being racist because I said a guy I knew was from China. I was like, what the fuck are you on about? So a guy you knew was from China and that's racist. What were you supposed to say? A friend of mine was an Oriental gentleman from the place where they invented gunpowder and fireworks. Terracotta soldiers. Sun Tzu. Fuck it, man. It's like, is there any way out of it? You know what I mean? It's like, can people undo this fucking cognitive damage that has been met out upon the general population. What to say here? Morgan Walsh meant social media seems that is separable from a lot of young people at the moment. It is, yeah. I've really backed off on the social media lately. Like, people are like, oh, did you see this on Facebook? I'm like, nah, I didn't. Like, they spent fucking years mining our data, studying us with algorithms, listening into our conversations, marketing shit to us, selling. We were the product, man. So I was like, if it's free, then what's the catch? But I think people will find alternative utilities. Let's say. I think what was it, that article section 230 or something, where they basically these private companies should be turned into public utilities at this stage. It's like the marketplace. It's like the town square. So I think they should be held accountable. Apparently, I think in Texas or Florida, they're basically making it so you can sue if you've been like unjustly deplatformed. You can sue them, and Poland is doing it as well, I think. Let me see. Trinidad's 1 second now. Morgan, Sammy Farrell. The food over here is pure shite. Fucking chicken fillets the size of whole Irish chickens, mutated from the amount of shite they're pumped with. Try and eat organic, then cost you a good few bob more. Whereabouts you based, Samly? Shawnee, things Kevin Ball. Trinidad's got like the reverse problem, man. They'll happily pay for a foreigner 100 times what they'll pay a local to do the same job. I've practically given up on seeking jobs locally. Yeah, that's strange. But you know what? Tortuga hot sauce is the bee's knees, man. Scotch bonnet. If you can send some of that this way, I'd love a bit. Tortuga, man. It's the Caribbean legend. Mark Shortall, that last comment I left was a reference to Lexus being asked how he'd ride out the recession. Maybe on the horse. Sorry about that. Eddie Durkin, never working. Oh, Cactus Rider, how you doing, man? Hey, Martin, how Martin must have cracked. Eddie Greenhawk, good to see you, buddy boy. Hey, Martin, tackling the walk, folks, yeah? I just want them to come back to like if you've got friends and family and neighbors and there's people and you're like, come back to the fucking sanity, man. You know what I mean? It's like, I was watching Ibiza Uncovered there from like 1997, and it was a bit like, shagging and all that. But it's just funny to see how people's interactions with each other has changed since then. Like, I don't know which one's worse, to be honest with you. Lulu, one of the most racist shit I've heard is white liberal people trying to tell Latinos that we can't call ourselves that anymore. We're oppressing ourselves, and our new name is Latin X. Fucking hell, man. I mean, it's like, as Malcolm X said. Well, let me see what this. What did Malcolm X say? Okay, what did he say? The white liberal is the worst enemy, it says here. Because they get a weird kind of, they get this weird, like, oh, look, it's the same people. Like, I'll give you an example. My girlfriend's job, this Swedish girl comes in and she says this, right, which is fucking priceless. She goes, excuse me, do you have a takeaway box for my pizza? So like they get the box and then she goes, do you know where there are any homeless people nearby so I can give this pizza to them? I'm like, oh, wow, what a altruistic thing to do, to basically give the leftovers of the food you didn't want anymore to someone on the street. I mean, I get it, but it's basically, why didn't you go and fucking buy a pizza and then give that to the homeless person? It's just this weird fucking need to be seen to be doing good with half-hearted gestures. Like, it's like this crack. Like, for example, Christ said, if you've got your tunic, take it off and give it to the poor. I mean, that's basically where you put yourself out of, like, I don't do it, I'm like, well, I need that, or I need, it's like, even though I might have about fucking 50 shirts in the cupboard, it's like, but it's this fucking digital slacktivism. It's like, oh, I've wrote something on my update, that's my contribution to this important cause done now. Like last year when you seen like the BLM protests and whatnot, you'd have these like influencers going like this to have their picture taken beside it, just so they can go up and get admiration from other fucking dickheads online. It's just, it's the most shallow fucking existence. I mean, when people just talk to each other in sound bites and blurbs now, you know what I mean? Okay, Toe Cutter, my Max fan there. Could we get a first shitty cancelled and bring back Hardy Bucks for 10 more seasons, please? It would be nice. Sean Thompson says, it's hilarious, Sean. Shouldn't all the world corporations and Hollywood celebs who donated millions to BLM asking how a leader is spending their money? Well, like, where's the money going, man? Where is the money going? I'd like to know. Like, give it to these communities, and give it to them so they have self-sufficiency, so they have businesses. But where's it going? Robbie Heenan says, I think a lot of this stems from people not caring about the privacy when it comes to social media. It's eroded our values of private property. Who you are, your data is your most private property. Yeah, and then you got people going to like 23andMe, which is, DNA. Like people have your fucking DNA on a database. That's your building blocks of your entire lineage of going all the way back to the source of life. It's funny how people think about like, yeah, basically we came from something started around here, and wherever we as human beings have come from follows a very long lineage that goes back beyond where any of us even can comprehend. But people are like, yeah, I think it's about 400 years ago, that'll do, max, and now people just go, here, there's my DNA, have that. Apparently, wasn't it like the co-founder of Google, the wife who basically owns 23andMe? I mean, shit's getting out of hand, man. Will cannabis ever be legalized in the EU? Well, it's legalized in Holland and decriminalized in a lot of places, but I think it will, man. But like, let's say in Sweden, the government doesn't like people smoking over here, because if you smoke, you start thinking and there's a bit of self-introspection and evaluation of the systems in place in the world around you. It makes you think. And, sometimes leaders of a country don't want people thinking for themselves. Robbie Heenan, make them pay people for private property they are already stealing. That will make them change course. Yeah, I've been having to catch the streams on replay with my work and sleep schedule. Hey, at least you're catching them, man. Hey. Durkin smells like gherkins. Oh, who's been talking? Joey B. Toons covers this. Yeah, he's good, man. Joey B. Toons. Owen McMullen, definitely not helping people. Mikey J. The head of BLM lives in a mansion. Thanks for the super chat there, Sean, mate. Now, yeah, BLM money is being funneled back into the researchers' elites. I think it's a way of money laundering for these corporations like Foot Locker and people like that. It's like, because it's non-taxable. So who knows if it's just kind of a way of coming around. Like if you look at Sky Sports, it's like, what the fuck is happening to Sky Sports? You want to watch sports. You don't want to be reminded of racism all the time. It's like, if you're a genuine racist, you're a fucking asshole, man. Do you know what I mean? If you basically judge someone based on their culture, their skin color, there's something fucking, you need to step back and have a little look at yourself. Do you know what I mean? But just going on about it the whole time. It's like Morgan Freeman was on with Don Lemon, and he said, well, how do we discuss racism? And Morgan Freeman just goes, stop talking about it. And yeah, simple as that. If you have a family, I don't trust 23andMe. Owen Munn says, if you have a family history of bad health, yeah, and there is an upside to knowing what to look out for in terms of genetic coding and what you might be susceptible to. That is, look, it's like anything else. Can it be used for good or can it be used for bad? And if it's used for bad, then it's fucking very bad. But if it's used for good, it's very good. It's like penicillin. Like I was watching the Danny Dyer when he's talking about being related to the Tudors and whatnot. And I can't remember the guy who was like his 31st grandfather, big bearded lad. And he was like, oh, is that a secret Father Christmas? But basically, they said the average age in the Tudor times for a person living back then was 35 years old. And I was like, fucking hell, I'm 35 years old. And then the girlfriend said to me, was like, well, how many times would you have died already had it not been for penicillin? And I was like, fucking the amount of toothaches, like this time when I got the bite to the eyes when I catch it. There was so many times where penicillin has saved people's lives. And I don't know if, like, yeah, I don't know what the fucking point of this was, but can't fucking remember. Oh yeah, the DNA. Fuck it. What can you do? I think DNA thing is fucking crazy. Willfully handing over that kind of information is absolutely insane. Yeah, my sister did it. I found out that I was 22% Scandinavian, 8% English, and 2% unknown, and the rest was from fucking Connacht. So that was cool. And then when you look at the history of Ireland, I put in the link earlier on, you see that how Ireland is so fucking mixed up, man. You had the Danish Vikings, you had the Norwegian Vikings, you had the Scottish, the Picts came over. The Romans would have traded. There was the Anglos, the Saxons, fucking man, shitloads. It was all mixed up. Like Ireland is like a culture of a very mixed lineage. So I'd say the average Irish person that you would do a DNA test, they definitely have about 8% English blood. And if you go to fucking posh parts of Dublin, probably about fucking 90%. Keen Murphy. Where are we now? Do you think it'll be much harder to create good Hardy Books episodes with cancel culture? No, if anything, man, we would make sure that we push the boat further than it's ever been pushed before. I mean, look, fortune favors the brave. Like, there are people who are willing to put their fucking neck out and they get respect for it. You know what I mean? It's like they'll be sneered at by those who are like jealous pricks. It's like, okay, if you look at have you noticed most of the people who wanted to cancel grid girls in Formula One were completely fucking were like wouldn't hold a candle to the girls who were educated, well-spoken, and thoroughly enjoyed their extra revenue streams of hanging out with race car drivers and pit crews, jetting all around the world. And then, some of these fucking blobs come along then and just say, it's misogynistic. Fuck off. It's player hating. It's basically people, it's jealous cunts who have they now have a following on social media, and they can cause their fucking minions to cause enough shit that it puts the willies up against people who are so brand orientated. And I say, the brand, you're going to damage the brand. He must be fired. It's like, fuck off. That's what I think. I've never needed cannabis to overthink. No, even though it does fucking help sometimes. Thank you very much for the super chat there, Shawnee. I'm going to throw you some coin via PayPal one day so you don't get scroogled. Cheers, Shawnee. Man after my own hair team. Lulu, do you all have that new Delta 8 CBD over the... It's got a bit of the THC. Oh, shit, man. I wouldn't mind a bit of that. Paul O'Hurley, you're welcome to the fucking Pleasure Dome. Shawnee, the way non-profits can take the piss out of all the financial regulations is essentially racketeering. Oh, yeah, NGOs, man. Fucking... They're all behind the fucking stirring the shit pot. Andrew Ashuram, never knew this man had the facts. Fair play to you, Andy. Cactus Rider, it's like the old adage, give a man to fish, they eat for today, teach him how to fish. And the fucking comment has just gone up. Teach him how to fish, eats forever. Right now, it's just taking out a few fish from one lad and onto another. That's no solution. No, it's not, man. See, again, it goes back to liberty, the right of the pursuit of happiness and liberty and freedom to fucking make your own decisions, to go and buy your own shit, to grow your own stuff. To as long as you're not doing harm to people, that is basically, I live by this and I teach my kids this: do no harm and take no shit. If that's anything you can take from this whole fucking live stream, do no harm and take no shit. Don't be a pushover. Don't be a bully. Be like water, as Bruce Lee would say. I'm still on, Helene. Yeah, still on. Telling people not to be racist, like telling a rapist not to rape. Bad fuckers can't be changed. There are unfortunately bad fuckers out there, but it can be. It can be remedied, man. You know what I mean? And I don't know, but yeah, it's a fucking controversial one. Cactus for Owen McMullen. Fuck, my family is half Irish, half Scottish. I know for a damn fact that I'm some sort of Viking mixed in with that shit. I don't need a website. Yeah, fair enough. Good name, McMullen. Tim, most legendary real life night out with the lads. Oh man, sure, fucking hell, we'd be here all day if I was talking about legendary nights out with the Hardy Bucks. Put it this way, there was more legendary nights out than there was shite nights out. Genetic data will be very valuable in the future. Will be very useful for insurance, pharma, government. Oh yeah, that'll be the crack. Oh, sorry, we can't give you health insurance because you're susceptible to this and this. Martin, do you miss the liver bird? Sometimes, Graham, I'll just sit there and lament over the double liver bird and be like, if only I could go and look at the bird and then go into Jamie Carragher's sports bar, get myself some goujons, some creamy cheese chips, and a milkshake. I'd be fucking away with it, mate. Nice fish, Durkin. Cheers, Briny. Oh, Briny Kelly. Lulu, Irish blood, English heart. Morrissey job, is it? Cactus Rider. People also don't often comprehend the DNA results don't mean your family tree is different. Don't mean your family tree is different. All that means is what DNA has worked down to you specifically. That's a good question, Cactus Rider, me old skin, because it was my sister who got that done. But I was like, well, does some people get more of one set of DNA than others? And that's why siblings look different. It's like CSI Steve and the boys. Like, he's ginger. The next lad's got black hair. Then it's ginger, then black hair, then ginger, and then black hair and ginger, I think. But they're every second son, they look the same, but they've got different hair colours. It's fascinating. Toe cutter. Yes, it's ugly libtards. Bring back the Formula One girls. Brand equals religion. Yeah, it's all about brand management, man. It's like, it's fucking, PR has a lot to do with it, and it's just, yeah, fuck it, what can you do? No autographs. Irish bling, English heart. There is no one on earth I'm afraid of. Dave, yeah, when did regarding beauty become so disgusting? I must have missed that memo. Yeah, exactly. I was like in Sweden, fucking grand, sure, grand. Stephen Hunt, Story Lad, Viper killing it with the streams too. Do you ever watch them? I don't really watch them, to be honest with you, mate. I fucking really got the time. JK, it would make life complete going out with the boys. Look, it'll happen yet. That's just different lovers, man. Helene, I really want to do a DNA test and let my friends bet. Helene, I'd say there's fucking solid Viking in you, hey. Helene's my friend from Sweden who we've known for nearly 20 years now. Fair play to you, Helene. Right, well, look, come here. I think we're at 2 hours and 18 seconds. And what I will say to conclude this is, as Bill and Ted would say, be excellent to each other. If you see something that is wrong, if you see an abuse of power or a bad boy bully cunts and you feel afraid and you're like, oh, I really shouldn't say something here because I'll get... Just be like, plant your feet on the floor and go, this is wrong, man. Stand up for what's right. And look, everyone in this chat, you're fucking sound, man. You know what I mean? You're a great... It's an absolute pleasure to do these streams because you're a great bunch. And as Uncle Mick told me in real life, most people, 95% of people in the world are good people. And there's good and bad in every society. And I think people just need to take a load of fucking chats and then just have a big bond up and hug it out. So that's my touch. Your parting words, Glazier's out, says Pantera Guy. Yeah. United, in it. Neil Robinson, you're just in the last shot. But listen, thanks all of you for your super chats and anyone who has donated on PayPal /Maloney's Digest. Thank you in advance. And thank you for any new subscribers. I think I'm nearly up to 4,000 subscribers now. So if you know of anyone who hasn't subscribed yet, it'd be really cool to get to the 4K mark. And hopefully we can get that bad boy up to 5. But we won't keep it we won't get too busy. I like the fact that we have a nice little, sometimes when you see live chats that are too many people in it, no one can get their point across. So let me have a little look and see what the crack is with my amount of subscribers. Oh, we're okay. So it's 3.199. So I don't know. I think I checked today and I'm like 15 off 4G packs. So, and I do want to say for all of you who have been here, you've been following now for over 2 years, my fair play to you, and it's really good. I've gotten to know a lot of you personally. And I think the next time I'm going to do one of these, I'll do a StreamYard and I'll invite a few guys to come on and just have the crack. But it has been fantastic talking to you all as ever. You're a sound bunch of skins. Look after yourself, and we'll talk to you soon. Fair balls. Crack yourself. Not allowed to play that in Music Maker. Right, good luck and God bless. Talk to you soon. Next time I'll play a bit more music. I just wasn't in the fucking mood today. I wasn't feeling, you know what I mean? Told you, good luck. Bye.